I did a video basically doing a quick overview of my Carcano collection, and a viewer or subscriber got back to me and said, hey, one of those rifles has Made in Italy stamped on it, and my rifle doesn't, and is that a variation, or where did it come from, or why is it stamped in there, and why is it stamped there on English, or in English, written in English? You will find different firearms that will be stamped, made in Italy, made in France, and so forth. And I believe I have, from what I believe and what I knew was a long time ago, any firearm or certain thing imported into England has to, England, Great Britain, United Kingdom, whatever you want to call it. When they bring something in, it has to be stamped, made in whatever, Germany. Like I've seen Lugers, they have stamped on there in big letters, made in Germany and all this other stuff. Well, let's take a look at two guns I have, and we'll discuss this further. Alright, the two guns that I found that have the stamp on it right offhand are these two here. It's an Italian Carcano 91 TS and an Italian Vetterli 1870-87 rifle in 10.4 millimeter. Now, what stamp they're talking about, and I've tried to highlight them with some white chalk, is what I believe he's seen was this stamp here. It's stamped on top of the receiver, Made in Italy. Now, like I said, you will find firearms that will have some sort of stamping, Made in Italy, or I've seen Gras rifles with a huge stamp on the receiver, Made in France, and everything else. Now, on the older gun, we have a similar stamp, again on top of the receiver, Made in Italy. Kind of crude, wasn't really struck in there, but in there none the same. Also, this Carcano rifle, if you look on this side, it does not have the import, the electric pen mark imports. And also, if we go to the barrel and we examine the barrel up here where the other import marks usually are, there are none. So this rifle has no importation markings or U.S. designated importation markings because this gun was brought into the United States prior to 1988 when they required importation marks. But at one time, this rifle probably went in to the United Kingdom, Great Britain, because I believe they had a law that whenever these guns would come in, they had to be stamped, made in whatever, Italy, France, Germany. Like I said, I've seen pictures of Lugers that have stamped on the Luger, made in Germany. Now this other gun here also, this does not have any type of an electric pen or barrel stamp marking. I knew this gun came in prior probably to 1968, but has the stamp on there. Now you will hear people tell you that this proves that these guns were in the Spanish Civil War, and when Interarms bought these weapons all from Spain, which these guns probably could have been in the shipment from Spain, that the Spanish marked them, which I don't agree with that because they would be marked in Spanish, and why would the Spanish stamp anything, in English on there? And I also have guns I know came from the inner arms thing that are not marked like this. What this was is, I guess at one point in time, there were arms dealers and surplus arms dealers in the UK. And British import laws said the guns had to be stamped made in wherever. Because I do remember an old article where it was either Springfield Sporters or somebody went to a company in England and bought basically a huge shipment of different Carcano parts. It was barreled actions, stocks, bolts, screws and that. There were, in the past, even though the way the firearms laws are now, and maybe these companies are all out of business, there were arms dealers in England, and I mean, they sold probably surplus military guns on the open global market. If not just for, see now, as the laws have changed, at one time, I believe citizens with the proper paperwork could collect military surplus guns and own them in the United Kingdom. I don't know about now, but so that's where there was a market and there were dealers. And I believe that's where these proof marks come from, because both of these guns do not have the post-1988 proof marks on them. So I hope that answers the question there.